Hey, everybody. I tell you what, thanks, first off, Christy and Bruce from Ocean to Ocean. They really know how to start the party. Christy came on right away with, and now I have a commercial on my end. So I don't know whether everybody's seeing this commercial or if it's just me, but let me let me make sure I'm caught up with everybody. Okay, so now I can see myself. So yeah, I wanted to thank Christy and Bruce who started off. It's for those of you new to the live show here. I've been doing a well. It started on Labor Day weekend, right? And me and my buddy, I was up at his lake vacation spot or whatever, and they were taking us out on the pontoon boat and everything. And I said, hey, I'm gonna do a live, and just had the idea to do some shots for every like $10 super chat. And so several coach cruisers were enjoying getting me and my buddy a little tipsy, I guess you could say, with all the shots we were doing. And so Christy and Bruce from Ocean to Ocean just came through, and they already have me three in. All right, so that's great. And I want to send a special shout out for those of you. I know Bruce has been on here about every week, and I know I've mentioned to you to go check out his channel. So some of you obviously have, because I tell you what, he went from like 800 something to 900, and then I swear it was like literally days later, 2 3 days, something like that, and I'm like, he's at 1,000. I'm like, are you kidding me? I was like, I wish I could get 100 subscribers that quick. So yeah, Bruce, I don't know what you did. You must have had one heck of a awesome video or two there to jump up that quick. But that's absolutely awesome. Let me catch up with who all's here before I get too intoxicated. Z was the first one on. He was on before I even logged in to check in. And then we have Lynn again. What's up, Lynn? Good to see you here again. Thompson Family Rules is here again. SCT Adventures. I haven't seen you guys in a while. Great to see you back on here. Let's see here. Funnelheads is here. Andrew from Funnelheads. And yeah, and Bruce, absolutely. I mean, I know how thrilling that is to get that first 1,000. I know SCT knows. I know Funnelheads knows. Yeah, once you reach that spot, you feel like, okay, the work that's been put in, I finally feel like it's been validated, or you've been rewarded, so to speak. So definitely that's awesome. And Sandra, and I keep mentioning Sandra because if you haven't checked out the Coach Cruise TikTok, yes, I'm on TikTok. I do dances and everything. No, I don't. That's a complete exaggeration. But no, Sandra and I met with Anita when we were cruising on July, and she said she was really into TikTok, and she offered to help put some TikTok videos together, and I was like, hey, awesome, I love that idea. So she's put some really creative stuff on there, and I've enjoyed watching them. So you should go check it out too. Okay, so actually, Bruce is 1,000. I think he already is 1,000. Yeah. He like I said, he went from like 900 to 1,000 like crazy quick. But let me catch up. Okay, so I'm going Irish today. For those of you who don't know, I'm Irish. I don't know how many. I don't have too many shots. It's only about this far here. So just in case I ran out, I got this other Irish whiskey here that I've never tried. It's called Kilbeggan, traditional Irish whiskey, and it is Ireland's oldest licensed distillery. Apparently, there are some older unlicensed distilleries, but it's the oldest licensed distillery. So let me take care of Christy here first. And Christy was the first with the super chat. So here's the first one. And James, I like Jameson as a shot. Good way to start the evening. I tell you, this has been a rough week. not too rough. I mean, obviously people people have a lot bigger problems than I have, but on a you know first world kind of problem type of thing, it's a little disappointed. Those of you that know I'm a Raiders fan, the only team in the NFL that doesn't have a win, or the only 0-3 team. Maybe there's another team 0-2-1. I think Houston is or something. But so there was that, and then Saturday my girls' flag team, we lost. We were 3-0 and 3-0 against the other 3-0 team, and we lost a tough game, but they're a really good team. But then we played again just yesterday, and we lost a heartbreaker to a team like we felt that we should have beat, and we had beaten them in a preseason game. We lost that by 1 score, and now we're in a situation where, we kind of have to win one of our remaining games against 2 really, really good opponents to be able to get into the playoffs. So yeah, we're a little touchy there, but other than that, everything's pretty good. No complaints. So, like I said, nothing too big. Okay, and here is Bruce's first, and this is the 500 shot. Okay, this is Bruce's 500 shot because he just hit 1,000. So this is number 500, and we'll get to 1,000 here in just a second. So there's 500, and then here is Bruce from Ocean to Ocean Travel. This is their 1,000. Again, they just hit 1,000 subscribers, and if you haven't checked them out, go check him out. He's obviously impressed a lot of people because, like I said, he's jumped up like 100 subscribers in just 2 or 3 days. So people are loving what he's putting out. So go check it out. All right. Okay. Oh, yeah, SCT Adventure says we're doing super chats on our live stream wrong. Yeah, you know what? And it's funny you mentioned that, SCT, because I was thinking, if we did like a live broadcast and had like 4 different creators on there, we could do kind of this super chat thing, but do some kind of thing where somebody draws cards or whatever, and whoever gets the highest card or whatever, or the lowest card, depending how we wanted to do it, would have to do the shot, make it kind of like a drinking game or whatever. So yeah, that would be cool. Let's see. So I'm caught up on shots, and again, thank you, Christy and Bruce, for those 2. And I wanted to check, and I was glad to see that Jameson is only 80 proof, because I was doing those 95 proof ones last week, and those were hitting kind of hard. So, yeah, wanted to make sure I did that. Okay, so, question I had. This is, and put in the chat. I wrote down a couple questions I was just curious about, because going on the horizon this past July, I was really, really impressed with the Havana area. And for years, I had read about the Havana area on the Vista class ships, and I kept reading comments about, oh, that's the only place we'll ever go, this and that. It's so great, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just thinking, like, how great can it be? There's a pool back there, there's a couple hot tubs, and you got your own private bar. But I just really, really enjoyed it. It's so much calmer. You kind of get to know the people because it's a smaller group category, whatever. I don't know. There's only so many people that can be in those Havana rooms. You get to know the bartenders very well. So it was a really great experience, and I spent 2 weeks in that Havana area. So the first question I had in relation to cruising is, what is the best amenity on a ship or area? So like Serenity Deck or the casino, or what area, bar, amenity, if it's the spa. Oh, there's Tim. Hey Tim, no shot. This goes out to all your Florida followers. Oh, appreciate that, Tim. I appreciate that. And Tim and I have cruised together on the Mardi Gras, and he's looking to possibly go on an Alaskan cruise on that June 21st. So I'm hoping that he works that out, and he can join me on the Luminosa. June 21st. So thank you, Tim. Appreciate that. And yeah, so what is anybody out there? What is your favorite thing on a ship? Like, what do you look forward to the most? Is there a specific area on the ship? Is it the pool area? Like I said, the Horizon area on the Vista class ships, I'm gonna probably try to get into that area anytime I go on the Vista class. If it's not ridiculously expensive, that might be the goal for me going forward. But how about everybody else? What is your favorite amenity? Is it the spa? Is it, for those of you that have been in the Vista class and gone to the Havana, is it Havana? Is it the Serenity deck? Is it the Lido deck? Is it a particular bar? Okay, so Bruce is jumping in with, we love the Serenity area. Lynn says live music, and live music's all over the ship. I really love that answer because I definitely agree with that, Lynn. Just sitting down and enjoying some live music with a drink is great. Beachton, Texas is here. Says Lido pool, cold beer, good music, ocean air. That sounds awesome. Like, just those words all combined together just make me want to get on a cruise ship right now. Will, that's okay. You're not that late. Good evening. Christy says Serenity deck and casino. And yeah, Christy gets those great casino deals too. Sandra says, I love the spa, but the 100 pokes my eyes. I must not be getting the joke there, or I read it wrong. SCT loves the Red Frog. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, and some of those Red Frog pubs are really nice. The size of them and the games they got going on. Z says, do you think? Oh, this isn't. Well, here, I'm just going to show this because it's, for some reason it's hiding it. But there you go, Z. Your comment was hidden for some reason. But it says, hey, Ocean to Ocean, do you think I can hit 100 subscribers by the end of this week? I think you can. Absolutely, Z. And Z's trying to work up to 100. Go check them out. Poked. Oh, okay, Poked. I gotcha. Andrew, there's Andrew checking in. Our balcony. Yeah, it is nice, especially if you have some sea days on the cruise, to kind of just relax and sit out on your balcony. That is great. I always feel bad when I get a balcony and I don't spend enough time out there because it is just like a zen type of place and peaceful and everything. Tim says a good place to watch the ocean. Yeah, so that would go right along with the balcony. But, quiet place on the Serenity deck, you can absolutely do that too. You don't even need a balcony, right? So yeah, Andrew is here. And I'm guessing Yoli's not too far behind. Yeah, Sandra, that spa area is crazy expensive. But you do come out of there feeling like butter. I will say that. The deck parties, the shows and live music, Will agrees with that. Oh, look at that, Z. You got another subscriber. SCT just subscribed to you. I'm subscribed to you also, Z. You already know that. And then Z, you had asked this earlier. What happened on the Vista Monday night? They had a blackout. I don't know if that sounds familiar, but I'm not sure if I heard it. Maybe I heard it on, maybe Derek mentioned it on Island Time. I don't know, but no, I didn't. If I did, I just was in passing and I didn't pay much attention to it. So, yeah, the Vista ship, and I know I did a video on that, how, they have had a lot of engine problems and stuff. And Jim B's Johns is here. He's from San Antonio. Jim, do you know Sandra? Because she's also from San Antonio. You two are neighbors. And I didn't know if you knew that. But Jim B and Sandra, you are both from San Antonio, so you are neighbors. What part of San Antonio do you live in, Jim? And Sandra, what part of San Antonio do you live in? You might live next door. You never know. Wouldn't that be wild if you were like 2 blocks away from each other? What neighborhood or whatever are you both in? Sandra says North Central. And Jim says, I've not met her or Wanda. Are you close to North Central, Jim? I'm curious now. We may have neighbors here. Oh, he says he's up the road in Killeen. I don't know where. Oh, okay. So Will is not far from there too. Oh, and Jim is from North Central as well. Isn't that crazy? I mean, it's such a small world, right? You come on here, you two don't know each other at all, and you're like neighbors. That's crazy. Sadie's here scratching up my arm. I've got her. My normal thing. She loves these Tuesday nights. I don't think anytime Anita's not going to be able to come on with me, I don't think I can ever not do this anymore. And it's not because, you know, I like her scratching up my arm or slobbering all over me. But since I got started with this, anytime I get behind this computer, she thinks it's hot dog time. So, you know, she just, you know, it's just, yeah, I wouldn't be able to get rid of her if I wanted to now. So now it's just a thing. Let's see. Z Crows, I got the info from Ship Life. Okay. Killing is my Fort Hood, my daughter. You know what? I don't know where these places are in San Antonio, but I will say I had some amazing barbecue in San Antonio, and I love that Riverwalk area. So that's what I know about San Antonio, and I ran a rock and roll half marathon in San Antonio. That's my highlights of San Antonio. So, all right. Well, that was interesting on the amenities and everything. I wanted to touch on this because this would be a fun thing for me, and I'm wondering if anybody else is looking forward to it, because I'm kind of wondering, and I wish Derek would jump in from Island Time. He's probably busy. I know he's been doing a lot of coaching with his son, but he brought this up, and I did too in a video, and it seems like months ago now. But Carnival had made an agreement, and I don't remember if it was with Caesars or MGM, but they were going to put kiosk in the casino, and which allowed you to bet on sports. So you could do sports gambling in the casinos on Carnival ships, and it seems like that would have happened by now. But it hasn't. And I'm just curious, has anybody watching now, heard about when these the sports gambling is going to happen? Because yeah, I'd be curious. Oh, also, if you haven't hit that like button, okay, and I saw a couple people hit it just now. If you could hit that while you're watching, I would appreciate it. It might help get the video out to a few more people here today. So Christy was stationed in San Antonio for basic training. Oh, that's cool. And what branch of the service were you in, Christy? You might have said this before and I forgot. I apologize if that was the case. I'm waiting. Christy. Air Force. Oh, very cool. So have you flown, Christy? Or did you just, you served on the ground? Yeah, and I don't. Here's Jim B, and this is for Sadie. So Sadie is taking you up on that, and I'll give her some extra here, Jim. Give her a bunch in a row here, so maybe she'll leave my arm alone for a little while. There you go. That was from Jim, Sadie. High five for Jim. There you go. All right. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate that. Oh my goodness. No, did maintenance on bombs and missiles. That's like even cooler. Like, I mean, okay, so Christy, I gotta ask. Maintenance on bombs and missiles. I mean, so like when you're watching the movies and they have to, disarm a bomb and everything, you actually are like the one person in the theater or whatever that knows what the heck is going on, right? I mean, did you ever get scared? Was there ever any accidents of anybody you knew or whatever? And I mean, that would be kind of a scary thing, I would think. I mean, that had to be a little stressful. Yeah, I bet it was. Because, I mean, if you mess up, or you got to be 100% confident in what you're doing if you're doing maintenance on bombs and missiles and stuff. That's crazy. That's one of the craziest jobs I've ever heard anybody have. That's really cool, but then like really scary at the same time. All right. So I mean, getting back real quick, and we'll move on to the next topic here. But is anybody else looking forward to sports gambling on the cruise ships? Because I am. I mean, my next cruise is going to be on Thanksgiving. I'm going on the Carnival Magic, and never been on a Thanksgiving cruise, but this is the first week my school has given the week off, so that's why I'm taking advantage of it. And I mean, there's so many football games and stuff going on over that Thanksgiving week that I'm really, really hoping that will be in place. And I'm just kind of wondering, has anybody heard about the sports gambling, when that might start? Because I haven't, and I definitely want it to get going. Okay, I guess nobody knows, so we're going to move on. The next thing I wanted to talk about, cruise line stock, in stock in general. That's another thing that has been depressing as heck. Is if you have like, well, I have multiple investments. I have like retirement investments, and that one I don't even want to look at because, I mean, that has just lost so much money, right? Like big percentages, and yeah, you see what it was and then what it is now. And the good thing is I still got a ways to go before retirement. So I'm not too concerned because the market, it does that. You have peaks and valleys and everything. And you need it to actually go down sometimes so you can get the stock at a cheaper price. And then, you realize the profits later. Well, that's definitely happening now. But it is frustrating as heck when and then I have like a side, like a Ameritrade thing, which I have X number of dollars. It's all relative, right, to your place and everything. So I'm not going to say how much or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's just been crazy because I had X number of dollars, and then it just went from here to down that quick. And yeah, it's just been Sandra's saying don't look at it, and that's correct advice. The only thing is, and I will not make this mistake going forward, but it's too late now, but I trade on margin, and it is not a good time to be trading on margin because I've been getting margin calls and all this other stuff. For those of you who know that mean, basically, to explain it pretty simply, if I were to invest, say, $1,000 in the stock market, if I trade on margin, a company like Ameritrade might say, "Oh, okay, that's cool. You deposit $1,000, we'll let you buy $2,000 worth of stock." But if it goes down below, say, $800, in value, then you have to pay the difference. So let's say I buy $1,000 worth of stock, and now that stock is worth $500. They say, hey, the margin has to be, 80% or more. We need $300 from you ASAP, or we're going to sell off your stock. And yeah, that's so it's that's what's been happening. So it's not been good. And honestly, Will says he's not a big gambler. If you're in the stock market right now, you're a gambler, I tell you. And I certainly feel like one. Let's see here. Okay. I'm catching up on chat. Somehow my cursor went all the way back up. Christy says no did maintenance on bombs and missiles. Okay, yeah, here we go. All right, here we go. Yeah, Will says hopefully mine will turn around in the next 5 years. I hope so, Will. I hope it's a lot quicker than that. And yeah, Sandra says, Tip, don't look at it. And now we have Lynn. And you know what, Lynn? I was ready for one. So I'm glad you did that. This is number 4. Jim and Tim took it easy on me. So I appreciate that. That allows me to get a couple more in later. But I'm happily going to do this one. Oh, look at that. Fireball Steve is here. One of these times, Fireball, I'm going to get some Fireball. Just for you. Just for you, I'm going to get some Fireball. But Lynn, here we go. And Lynn was one of the primary culprits on that infamous Labor Day, first Super Chat show. So here you go, Lynn. And there we go. And Steve was another one that was on that Horizon cruise with me. And we had a great time. We were back in that Havana area, and we went to the piano bar. Went on some excursions together. Yeah, it was really cool, really good time, and yeah, thank you again, Lynn, for that. Now, I had a couple questions. I wanted to know, and we've talked about this. As a matter of fact, I think Labor Day we talked about it. But I don't think we addressed this specifically. We talked about it, but I don't know if it was a direct question. So we've talked about movies, actors, actresses, everything. And I wanted to know what you thought, because we talk about like our favorite movies, right? So I had a question today. And again, if I said this Labor Day, because I kind of vaguely remember we were talking about this, I don't think I did, but I should have rewatched it. But anyway, what is the best sequel to a movie? The best sequel, not the original, but the best sequel to a movie. I'm interested, really, really interested in some of your takes on the best sequel to a movie that you have. Top Gun, okay. You know what? Starting it off right, Fireball. I agree with that. I was very impressed with that Top Gun sequel. Yep, that's the way to start it off. Terminator 2, there's another one that hits it out of the park. Andrew. Godfather 2. Okay, yeah, man, we're hitting it. Star Trek Wrath of Khan. I never was a big Star Trek fan, but I will take your word on that, Will. I'm a Star Wars fan. As a matter of fact, Empire Strikes Back was my favorite of the series, and that was the second movie that came out. I know the order is all backed up and all that kind of stuff, but yeah, any other ones, because those first four were right on the money. Okay, Z says it was a tie between Star, and Will says I'm both. Okay, he's Star Trek and Star Wars. Do you go to the Comic-Con stuff, Will? And if you do you like, do you do the whole thing, kind of like the Renaissance Fair, dress up, all that? Oh, Sandra, Toy Story 2. Yeah, those I loved watching those. Andrew, Beverly Hills Cop 2, the favorite sequel. How about Rocky 2? Rocky 2 was a good one. I know I mentioned before I'm a big Jason Bourne fan. I forget which was the sequel, but and then how about I actually like the third installment better, but Lord of the Rings, whatever the third one was, but the second one was better than the first, and I thought the third one was better than the second. I thought they progressively got better, the Lord of the Rings series, just in my opinion. Die Harder. Yep, all the Die Hard movies were great. What other sequels? I know we're missing some sequels here. Oh, okay. And well, I have another question after this one. Okay, Z Crew, Star Trek, The Wrath of Khan, and Smokey and the Bandit. Oh, Smokey and the Bandit. Love Smokey and the Bandit. And Jackie Gleason. You know what? We were watching a Jackie Gleason kind of like documentary, not a documentary. What's the thing where, it's not a documentary, they're like a biography or something. I forget what the actor that was playing Jackie Gleason, but I mean, I was just a little kid when Jackie Gleason was still on. And as a matter of fact, it might have been over by the time, I was a kid. But I remember seeing the reruns and everything. And Jackie Gleason and the Jackie Gleason show was great. John Wick Chapter 2, I like that one. I do like John Wick. Will says The Two Towers. That's probably that sequel that I was talking about. National Lampoon. Nice. Indiana Jones movies. Nice. I like that. And those were some great movies as well. And, man, I feel like there's one that I want to say that I can't think of off the top of my head. But, okay, now, here's one for you. We got some great ones there on the best sequels. Now, how about this? Worst sequels. Worst sequels, where they just kind of messed it up. Like, the original was so good. Yes! Now, Christy, absolutely. That was going to be my thing there, because The Matrix is one of my favorite movies, arguably my favorite movie, at least action, sci-fi, everything else like that. And I was so pumped to see the second and the third one. And I swear, they just made that so Hollywood and buy tickets and everything. But the original Matrix, had so much thought behind it, and I mean, it had biblical references. I mean, it was just such a smart movie. And then they dumbed up the second and the third one so bad. I mean, if you just wanted to go see action or whatever, I don't think you'd be disappointed with Matrix 2 and 3. But actually, the one that they had just recently, I actually liked a lot more than the second and the third. Still, nothing's going to beat that first Matrix, but yeah, I totally agree with that. Lynn, the question right now is, what is the worst sequel to a movie? Or worse, I'll add one to it. Moonlight Adventures is here. What's up, Moonlight? Good to see you. I mentioned last time Moonlight was on. We were on one of their live shows a week or two ago, and had a good time hanging out with them. Let's see. This is good for sequels. Aliens. All right. Aliens. All right. There we go. So let me tell you bad. Here's one of my bads. I don't know how many people have read the books. Has anybody read the books Where the Red Fern Grows or James and the Giant Peach? I know they're more like kid-related movies, but has anybody read those? There he is. Brother Derek from Island Time. He said, I finally got to hop on between baseball games. Thanks, Coach, for going live. Give us a break from reality. 90-ish days until the breeze. Oh, my God. Is it only that? Yeah. And Derek, you know what? I was talking about you earlier. I'm glad you hopped on here, and I'm hoping you have some clue on this, because I know you are the cruise news expert here. The sports gambling. I know we talked about that. You talked about that a couple months ago. Have you heard any new news in regards to the sports gambling, when these kiosks are going to finally appear? Because I'm going on Thanksgiving and I want to do some gambling. I know you're going on the Prima pretty soon here in a couple weeks. So I'm hoping these sports gambling things happen, because Thanksgiving week, I want to sit in the casino and just have a nice cold beverage and do a little gambling on my favorite sports, and hopefully I win a little bit. Andrew says, really like the series, but Predator 2 is not good. Derek says it's not on yet, but I'm told by EOY they wanted it for football season, but it's not on yet. Oh, and this is for Derek here from Island Time. And I don't know, Derek, you might have done it already, because now Derek is a guy that can get 100 subscribers or more in a day. Sometimes you get 200 or 300 overnight, but I know his goal by the end of the month was 13,100, and hopefully you've already hit that, Derek. I don't know. I know in his live on Sunday he just mentioned that. But Derek just put in that super chat here, so this is for our brother channel Derek over at Island Time. And Derek, we're finishing off this bottle of Jameson. I've got like this much. It's one, maybe two shots more. And then, if by some chance we finish that, we have this other Irish whiskey I've never tried before. Kilbeggan, whatever that is. I don't know if anybody's tried that before, but I saw it. Thought I would give it a shot. No pun intended. Really wasn't. So yeah, oh, absolutely. So Derek got the 13-1 over the weekend, so they're probably going to be 13-5 by the end of this month. He says 13-1. They're probably going to be 13-5 or more, knowing him. And Derek, we were just talking about Bruce from Ocean to Ocean, because they hit their 1,000, and they had some Island Time like overnight numbers. He went from like 900 to 1,000 in like 2 days. It was crazy fast. So yeah, Sadie has been drooling. I'm probably going to have to get some new pants on after this show here. luckily, I haven't gotten any on my arm yet. That's usually what happens. So, okay. Okay, so nobody saw James and the Giant Peach or Where the Red Fern Grows, and Derek, because I know you have two young boys, but I'm telling you, if you read them the book Where the Red Fern Grows, it is one of the greatest kids books. Or I read it when I was a young kid, but Beckett, I'm telling you, would love that. Where the Red Fern Grows and James and the Giant Peach, and if you have, you know if Beckett has a good imagination, he's going to love each of those books. I promise. So, Where the Red Fern Grows and James and the Giant Peach, and you read him that book, or Amanda reads him that book, or anybody that has kids. And yeah, Christy has read it. So she says, yeah, I've read both, and I cried for Where the Red Fern Grows. Yeah, Where the Red Fern Grows, for those that don't know, is just, it's inspirational, it's heartwarming, it's tear-jerking, it's everything. But, to kind of sum it up just like super, super quick, there's this very young boy. He's very poor. He lives in the Ozarks, and his family basically has nothing. And, he's got a grandfather that runs a little town shop or whatever, and he's very close with his grandfather, but, he loves his parents, everything. And he asked his grandfather, like, hey, if I save up some money to buy some hound dogs, will you help me buy them? And the grandfather is like, yeah, sure, whatever, because that's the equivalent of, say, a 10-year-old asking for, something that costs $1,000, and he might make an allowance of $1 a week or something. But this kid just works, his little tail off for 2 years. For 2 years, he saves up money doing odd jobs for anybody and everybody, and getting a little bit here and there. And he finally gets enough money to buy these dogs. And he pours the money out in front of his grandfather. His grandfather can't believe it, like he just robbed a bank or something. And he said, hey, I did it. And his grandfather gets him these dogs, and I mean, I'll just leave it at that. But he has to go through the process of training them, to hunt raccoons and this kind of thing. And I'm probably not doing it justice, but it is just a fabulous show. The adventures on some of these hunting stories and stuff, and the danger that he gets into, it's just, has you on the edge of your seat, especially if you're a young kid. So, yeah. So anyway, definitely check those out. Anybody that has kids or grandkids or whatever, you'll love those. And James and the Giant Peach, quick summary of that one. It's basically, a peach, kind of like Jack and the Beanstalk, where, he's got some magic beans, and the beanstalk goes up and he goes off to this mystery land or whatever. Well, something like that happens with a peach. And somehow James ends up in this peach, and he finds out there's all these like insects that grew life size, people size, and they can talk and everything. And again, it's going to sound crazy and weird and all that, but they go on some crazy adventures, and it's a really cool thing. But the reason I mentioned both of those movies or books is because the books were absolutely fabulous, and I saw remakes or movie attempts by each of those movies, and they're absolutely terrible. Like by far, The Red Fern Grows was one of the worst book to movie things that I've ever seen in my life. It just totally ruins the book and doesn't do the book justice. And James and the Giant Peach was a little bit better, but still not quite what you'd hope for. So, two great books there if you can get a hold of those. And yeah. So, we're all caught up. Where are we at here on time? Okay, we still got a little bit of time. Upcoming cruises here. Jim, I know, just got off a cruise. Jim, I forget what cruise you were on. Derek, what day are you leaving on the Prima? For those of you who don't know, Derek, Amanda is a teacher like myself, and she won one of the top 100 teachers in the United States, is voted upon by people that recommended nominated teachers, and I just got some slobber, and I'm wiping it on my dog, and I don't care who knows. It was her fault. Okay, so Derek is flying out October 26th and board 10/27. That's going to be amazing. And then the cool thing is they paid for the hotel and the airfare and all that. So I will commend them for that. And Derek, I gotta be honest with you. I got a confession here, Derek. So the video that you had, I got a comment on today. I commented on it. It was Norwegian in regards to them charging $138 a day. Now, I'll confess, and I don't know how many of you out there are Norwegian fans and have cruised Norwegian a lot, but I don't know anything about Norwegian because I've only cruised on them once, and I believe that was in Hawaii. And then I really knew nothing about cruising, and that was pretty much it. So Derek came out with $138 a day for like the alcohol package. And I put a comment on his page and I said, absolutely no way. And it actually angered me a little bit. Now, I can't probably defend myself too well as I'm doing super chats for money basically. But somebody commented, I commented on Derek's video. I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I will not cruise with Norwegian if they're charging $138 a day, because Carnival, for example, I believe it's $60 a day plus gratuity. So you're looking at about $70-ish a day. So if you're going for 7 days, you're roughly spending $500. Well, I mean, figure 140 times 7. That's what? You're getting close to $1,000. So that's a significant difference in cost. So, if I have to choose between Carnival and Norwegian, and I'm basing it on, the alcohol purchase, then it's going to be like, hundreds of dollars difference, especially when you factor in you're going to travel with somebody, a spouse or a friend or something like that. Then you got to double that, right? So I said on Derek's comments on a video, I'm like, I'm done. As a matter of fact, I'm going to sell my Norwegian stock because I just really didn't like. It's not like the stock was doing that good anyway, but so I did. I sold my stock in Norwegian, and then somebody replied to me just today, and they said, basically like, what's wrong with you is all you do is drink, or something like that. I think basically accused me of being alcoholic. Maybe I'm on the verge of it. No. But I said no. And then I just explained the reasoning, just the cost. It's so much more expensive. But, I said, I do enjoy some drinks when I'm on a cruise ship. I want to relax and I don't have to worry about driving. I want to sit back, go to the Alchemy bar, go on the Lido deck and have a few drinks, whatever. And so anyway, they had told me something about something free at sea or something. And Derek, you might know about that. But he said something about if you purchase free at sea, like you can get past that $138 a day. So I don't know if there's like some special program where you can basically tie your drinking into the package. And I don't know if that's available to everybody, but I said, okay, so yeah, Derek's saying yes, NCL throws it in sometimes for free. So that would be it for me. I mean, if I had to go on Norwegian, it would have to be that where they tied in the alcohol package for free. And Derek's saying free internet, excursions, dining, drinks. And for those of you that don't know, I think most people on this channel know already, but Derek and Bruce, I know also of Ocean to Ocean, they both are in the travel agent business now. And I know Derek booked, I think, over 100,000, or the goal is 100,000, right, Derek? The goal is 100,000. I think they're up over $75,000 or $80,000 already. They've booked this month, and they're going for 100,000 to end the month. So I booked a cruise with Derek already, my Alaskan cruise on June 21st on the Luminosa. Derek took care of for me. And he says they're at about 85K right now. So 15,000 more to reach their goal. And I'll tell you, usually when Derek sets a goal, he not only reaches it, but exceeds it before the time goes. So I know we're running out of time here in the month. We only got about 3 or 4 days, but it would not shock me to find out that Derek and Amanda reached 1,000 or 100,000 by the end of the month, and that is one heck of a start for just launching your travel agency business. So, congrats again on that, Derek. And he says, I've always had a ton of help. Yep, I know Amanda is your better half, and then you have a whole bunch of Islanders chipping in to help out too. So, yeah, that's awesome. And I will continue to look to you for bookings in the future for sure. So, how about any upcoming cruises? Because we got about 15 minutes. I'm always curious to hear about people upcoming cruises, and I'm a little curious to see if anybody has any upcoming. And with a hurricane coming up, I had somebody message me today, a gentleman named Aaron. He's like, hey, I'm a little concerned about this hurricane. And I said, yeah, I don't blame you. I'm hoping that it dissipates, but yeah, the hurricane season is upon us. And for those of us that are cruising, anybody have any fears in relation to that? Or anybody have any upcoming cruises that, they think the hurricane you might have to steer away from and do a different itinerary or things like that? And while I'm waiting for an answer here, let me take a sip. Nobody's got any upcoming cruises. I thought we would have a few out here. Okay. Well, again, let's talk ports. So, my Thanksgiving cruise. The thing I forgot to mention. Sandra says I'm looking for a quick 4-day in December because I just need 3 days to make gold. Yeah, I like that idea. I'd like a quick 4-day as well. Tim answered earlier. Okay. Ronnie says I'm not till November. And Ronnie, this first I've seen you on the chat, so thanks for stopping in. And Bruce is on the Vista November 26th. You are going to be getting on the Vista about the same time I'm getting off of the Carnival Magic. And believe it or not, it'll be my first time on the Carnival Magic. I've cruised, I think, about 33, 34 times on Carnival, and I've never been on the Magic yet. And we were kind of laughing because Andrew said Yoli's birthday cruise in 66 days. Beautiful. Yeah, and I know, Andrew, you all were thinking about that December 29th cruise. I know Derek's been talking about it, and I've been talking about it, but if anybody's looking for a New Year's Eve cruise, December 29 out of Galveston, The Breeze, Fireball Steve, I know, is going to be on that as well, as he just pointed out there. And Will's going to be on The Breeze in 13 days, so keep it in one piece for us, Will. Appreciate that. I definitely don't want to miss that cruise. But my sister has been on like 3 cruises, right? And I had Bermuda booked for October 6th, next week. And because of my girls' flag football team, like, I had booked the cruise before the schedule came out at the beginning of the year. And I didn't know when playoffs would be, when the season would end, everything else like that. But come to find out, playoffs would start October 4th. And I just got to put my faith in my girls that we make the playoffs. I've already canceled the cruise, so that's the faith I have in my girls, that they're going to find a way to win one of these next 2 games we have to win, and we're going to get into these playoffs. So yeah, I canceled the cruise because I said, you know what, I'm not even gonna think that we're not gonna do this, right? And that was I think it's the only time I've ever not wanted to go on a cruise. I think I talked about this last week, but yeah, I mean, when I mean, it's booked and everything else like that, but I can't think of a time ever where I didn't want to go on a cruise, and I didn't want to go on it because, I wanted the girls to make the playoffs. So hoping that happens. And let's see. Christy says 75 till the celebration. Oh, I want to get on the celebration so bad. Love Lee Mason, the cruise director there. Judy and Dave, welcome. First time heard from you today on the Carnival Paradise Thursday. Yes. Oh, wait. Thursday out of Tampa was just... Oh, my goodness. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Judy and Dave. I'm guessing that's because of the hurricane, I'm thinking. Sorry to... Man, that's got to be disappointing. Really sorry to hear that for you two. Sandra, okay, I appreciate that, Sandra. You know what? I think we will too. If it's not, we play Thursday night and then we play Saturday morning. If we don't win Thursday, I think somehow, some way, we're going to find a way to win on Saturday and sneak into the playoffs. Tim says September 30th if the sail out of Port Canaveral. Okay. I think you'll make that, Tim. And... yeah, so anyway, I don't even know if I finished the story. I think the shots are getting to me here. But so my sister, she's been on like 3 cruises. On her 50th birthday, I took her on the Carnival Splendor and we had a good time. And she's been on a couple cruises since then. But we were supposed to go on the Carnival Magic out of Bermuda October 6th. And I canceled it, as I mentioned. But she's still going to go on the cruise, as I wish she would. And she's looking forward to that. So we were joking that, she's going to have been on a ship before I've been on it. Here I am, coach cruise and everything. And my sister, being all of 3 or 4 cruises, has beat me on one of the Carnival ships. So we got a little chuckle out of that. Now, the funny thing is my next cruise is also on the Carnival Magic, which is the Thanksgiving cruise. And that has a great itinerary. It's got St. Martin. It's got St. Thomas. Let's see, San Juan, and I want to say Grand Turk. I'm not sure, but I know St. Martin, St. Thomas, and I have not been to St. Thomas in a long, long time. I love Megan's Bay. That's one of the most beautiful little spots, I think, as far as the ocean goes, with that Horseshoe Canyon. For any of you that have been to St. Thomas and seen Megan's Bay, it's absolutely beautiful. So I'm really looking forward to that. And yeah, so that's Thanksgiving. And then after that, it's going to be countdown time to the New Year's Eve cruise. You saw Fireball Steve mention it earlier. Derek's going to be on there too. 92 days away, I think Fireball Steve said. And so, yeah, we'll be down to that. And Z says, hey, Coach, I got to set up for my show at 8 o'clock. Oh, okay. So Z's got a show coming up. Yeah, I might pop into that for a minute, Z, and wish you good luck on that. And thanks again, as always, for coming in on our show. And yeah, so you know what? I've kind of run out of stuff here. I'll tell you what I'm going to do though. I want to now. I know Bruce from Ocean to Ocean, he just hit 1,000. We kind of celebrated that, but I don't think I celebrated 1,500 with y'all. And we hit 1,500. I think I mentioned it, but I wanted to do... This one's not going to cost anybody anything. I'm going to do this one for everybody here. So, yeah, we hit 1,500 just a little while ago. And I think we're closing in on 1,550 now. But yeah, 1,500 is a nice milestone there. And the goal, I don't know if we're going to reach it. We've been, I haven't been putting out as many videos lately. I've been trying to put out at least one a week to kind of stay in the algorithm there. But, yeah, we're trying to hit 2,000 by New Year's. Right now, I think we're going to have to pick up some steam to get there. Maybe when the flag season's over and I got a couple weeks, I can crank out some more videos and get the subscriber count up. Thank you. I see Bruce is saying congrats on the 1,500. Christy as well. Thank you. Sandra, thank you. Fireball Steve, thank you. Will, thank you. And this is to thank you all. This shout is for you and all of you that helped us get there to that 1,500. And here you go. So again, thank all of you. We got just a few minutes left, but I'm going to leave it open. Any questions? Anybody have any questions about anything? They want to shout out anything, celebrate anything? We got about 5 minutes left. I will wait to see something pop up there in the chat. I know I'm on a little bit of a lag, so. And Andrew says, "Congrats! That's awesome. I appreciate that." And yeah, Andrew, when we met for the first time, I was probably at about 1,100. So we've jumped up about 400 since then. Christy says, "Any word on the Pier at Grand Turk?" No, I haven't heard anything. I've probably, like you, I've seen the pictures and the section of the pier missing, and that's very concerning. It would seem to me that they could at least get a temporary fix on that. It didn't seem that devastating. I mean, the section missing and stuff, but again, I'm no engineer, so I don't know what really goes into that. But I hope that they could get that repaired. I'm surprised Grand Turk. I gotta say, I'm kind of glad you mentioned that, and I hope they do get that pier fixed right away. But Grand Turk is one of my low-key favorite ports because that is the port that you have to do nothing. You literally have to do nothing. You don't have to buy an excursion. You can buy an excursion if you want, but you don't need to. I mean, you literally look out your window if you're on the port side, and you're going to see an absolutely breathtaking beach. And it's just, like a mile-long beach there. Just that Caribbean, perfect, crystal clear blue water. There's miles of, or a mile of, lounge chairs and umbrellas and, cold beer for sale from a variety of vendors. There's Jack Shack at the very end of the beach that you can go to for some jerk chicken. You got Margaritaville right there. But you can just go there. You can literally walk off the boat and in about 10 minutes be laying in a lounge chair on the beach, drinking a cold beer, a bucket of cold beers. And yeah, I mean, you can't beat that. Andrew says, are the Raiders going to, I think he's saying, are they going to win a game this year? Yeah, that's a tough question right now, Andrew, because it's truly the most disappointing start to a Raiders season. And I know, we all exaggerate as sports fans, but I'm trying to be objective when I answer this. This is probably the most excited I've been about a Raiders team in probably 2 decades, in terms of expectations and hope for what they could accomplish in the season. And that hope has basically been crushed in 3 short weeks. Now, I know they can turn things around, but I think statistically the odds of a team starting 0-3 and making the playoffs is less than 5%. So we got a 1 in 20 chance. So you're telling me there's a chance. There's a chance they could win a game and hopefully a few more and surprise us all. Will G says Jack Shack, absolutely. Lynn says her son is getting married in 11 days. That is awesome. That is truly awesome. Lynn, quick question. How old is your son? I'm just curious because I got married in my early 30s, and I don't, I'm just, I know some people get married a lot younger. Some people wait a bit like I did. I was kind of curious. How old is he, if you don't mind sharing? And congratulations again. Fireball Steve, have you done the Alaska cruise? We were going in May with Lido Tito on the Luminosa. Any recommendations for excursions? Well, Fireball Steve, I will tell you that was my honeymoon cruise. And we did do a whale watching excursion because the whales in Alaska, obviously you need to do something, right, where you do some kind of whale excursion. But a lot of the other stuff we did was just, it didn't cost anything. And the truth be told. I mean, I didn't know anything. I mean, it was literally my first cruise. I mean, Coach Cruise was a decade down the road or more. So I will say that, when you get to the iceberg, thing where the cruise ship goes to the iceberg, make sure you're there early and you get in. If you don't have a balcony, hopefully, I mean, a balcony is the best place for that. But if you don't have a balcony, you certainly want to be along a railing. And I will say this, I've said this on other shows, but one of the coolest things, we were on one side of the ship, our balcony was on the other side of the ship. And we were standing along the railing and we were watching, and we're just in front of this iceberg. And you would hear this thunderous roar, like literally sounds like thunder, no exaggeration, sounds like thunder. And these big chunks of ice would just fall into the water. And it would just look so cool, like exactly what you see on the National Geographic or TV or anything like that. And just amazing. I mean, it's just surreal. It's like etched in my memory. And I forget a lot of stuff. I don't forget that Alaskan cruise. And then the boat started spinning around, so the other side of the boat could see it, right? And so Anita and I, this was our honeymoon cruise. We're like, hey, it's spinning around. Let's go down to our balcony and watch it from our balcony. And they had supplied us with champagne and orange juice. And so, of course, we're doing mimosas, right? And so we sat on our balcony and we're drinking mimosas, getting a little tipsy, sitting right beside this massive iceberg, right? This glacier, and watching the ice just fall into the ocean and those thunderous roars. And it's one of the coolest things ever. So surreal. And then, in Sitka, we went to this national park and we just walked through it. I mean, I saw an eagle 5 feet above my head on a branch. It sat there for like 10 minutes. Full-grown bald eagle. When it finally flew off, its wingspan had to be 7 feet. It was so cool. Salmon swimming upstream. Again, that didn't cost anything. And, salmon were so thick in that stream at that time of year. They were actually knocking each other out of the stream. I actually knocked a couple back into the water. Otherwise, I'd have died on the side of the stream there. And Lynn is getting a lot of congratulations. Well-deserved. Your son, well-deserved. Let's see. Will says, yep. Ronnie says, my son got married this year, and he waited until he was 33. Okay, very cool. That's roughly around the age that I got married. And Lynn, okay, my son is 35. Okay, so let's see. This is going to be about 19 for me. Yeah, so that's roughly about when I got married. Actually, maybe I was a little bit younger. Maybe I was like 32. I don't know. I'd have to figure it out. I've had 4 or 5 shots tonight, if you didn't know. His fiance is 21. Yeah, look at that. Look at the son go. There you go. Going after that jailbait there. I think she's legal at 21. He's okay. Fireball Steve, we have a side-by-side balconies with oh my God, that is going to be so cool. That is going to be like some of the best, I don't know, hour or two ever when you're along that glacier. You guys open up the balconies to each other's balcony. That is going to be amazing. I want some video footage of that, Fireball Steve, absolutely. Christy says, it's okay, Lynn, 15 years between my husband and I, and we are hitting 25 years. That's absolutely awesome, Christy. Congrats on that. And Lynn says 35. Okay, very cool, very cool. Well, I tell you what, we actually went overtime. I loved that last segment there where you all were giving your shout-outs, the things that you had going on. That was one of the coolest segments of the whole hour. Probably should have asked that earlier, and we could have talked about it a little bit longer. So maybe I'll do that next week on Tuesday. But as always, you all are awesome. It's one of my funnest evenings, probably my most fun evening of the week. And I know it's Sadie's most fun evening of the week because she eats about 6 hot dogs. So have an absolutely great week, great evening. And thanks for joining me, everybody. And I think we will end right there, and thanks for all the super chats, everybody. And Tim, to Ocean, Bruce, Christy, Fireball Steve, Will, Lynn, Tim, everybody. There's so many of you. I don't want to forget it. Andrew, I don't want to forget anybody. And we'll see y'all next week, next Tuesday. All right, take care, everybody.